Yes, I am Detective Maverick of the MNRPD. And, well, I did say that Konoha could handle this case. It seems that they possibly could be way in over their head, that is, unless they choose a smart move as well. As in this story, things are about to get very interesting. That is all. If there was any other time in Konoha no Sato, one of the 5 great elemental nations of Shinobi, and the team had been formed. The 3 Kiras, the 3 Shinigami, 1 per each Kira, and their accomplice in all of this, the little sister of the first Kira, Mito Uzumaki. The first Kira being Naruto Uzumaki, second Kira Sasuke Uchiha, and third Kira Hinata Hyuga. Reasons for why they do this: Naruto, to get his revenge on those who have forsaken his life, time and again. Sasuke's reasons: to get revenge on the fact that he was forsaken, and for those who forsake his people. Clan. And Hinata's reasons to free those who had been given the cage bird seal and to forsake those who had given those people that seal to begin with. And possibly other things, but it's always the quieter ones, don't we all know? It's always the quiet ones. we join them. We also join others who wish to take them down. As of now, the name Kira has become synonymous with whatever your opinion of this type of person is. A savior, a murderer, you pick. We go towards Naruto and his sister, and Ryuk. There does seem to be a lot. Almost 2 full pages, kid. Ryuk said to Naruto. I know, Ryuk. Almost. But not all. But that could be fixable. I mean, it is the red light district. Bound to find more people. It's not that I enjoy this. No, I rather enjoy the prospect of life. It's just the fact that I know that I am the one to take it. It is my duty as their god. As Naruto closes the Death Note. For now. So what do we do now, brother? What do we do now, Nissan? That is a good question, Mito. I guess... Oh, wait. Ryuk, when did I say the time was for the meeting? Ryuk would say, about... Oh, you're about to be late. As he would show a little card with the time for the meeting to Naruto and Mito both. As well, Mito said that she wanted to be a part of this more than ever now that basically, 3 Kiras, and one of them was her big brother, one of them was her Nissan. And Naruto did say that they were both Kira. They were both the original Kira. So even if they did catch Naruto, they would only be catching half of the original Kira. And so... due to some pretty fast reflexes, Naruto was just be able to get there on the skin of his teeth on time. As about the time that he, got up from landing his face on the ground, just barely getting there on time, that's whenever he would see 2 figures drop from the ground, along with 2 things dropping from the ground behind them. Those being Shinigami. And so the 2 others, they had books in their hands. Sasuke, Hinata, I'm not anybody else. I am Naruto. You can trust me. Besides, you wouldn't be able to see Ryuk if I wasn't Naruto. Now, would you? Besides, none of them know of Ryuk. Now, do they? Sasuke and Hinata not seeing any folly in that logic, well, come out with their own Shinigami. And seeing as Naruto can basically see them, knows that they are the real Sasuke and the real Hinata. They would discuss their plans further in this meeting. But one thing that Naruto would admit is that he knew that there were some very sharp minds in Konoha, like Shikaku Nara, and, well, the head of the Mind Reader clan himself, you know, the Yamanakas, you know, Inoichi. Well, there's also the TNI department, the Torture and Interrogation Unit. You know, Ibiki's the head of. Ibiki Morino. And even though Kage couldn't get onto this if he felt like he needed to. And if he did, well, shit, that Professor Mind, oh god. Maybe he really would be in jeopardy of losing that, fuck. It's a good thing that killing certain people that had certain ties to, well, Hanbu led to, well, Naruto learning some stuff that apparently, according to Hiruzen, he was not supposed to know about early on, as in knowing about his parents. And knowing about what he is. The Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. Why everyone hates him. And now Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata are really pissed. But Naruto knows to tell everybody, we can't let this cloud our judgment. This is just probably what they want. We have to be smooth and calm-headed. And know just the right moves to take, just like a game of shoot. A strategic game where only the most cunning of players win. And where everyone else fall. And thinking of shogi, didn't Shikamaru say something about playing a game over at his house? Naruto said that this might be where he gets checkmated, considering that, well, who Shikamaru's parent is. One of those really smart people. Shikamaru, basically, Shikaku Nara, the clan head of the Naras, all really smart people in their own right. So in other words, Shikaku is the smartiest of the smartiest. So he'd probably be able to beat Naruto in a game of shogi if he tried. If he actually tried. But then again, Naruto would probably be able to beat him if he actually tried. So, it was all a matter of just how well Naruto could play a certain role or roles if he had to. And if whatever he did managed to either throw him out into the open, you know, where sharks are, or keep him warm and cuddly and safe with the rest of his Kira buddies. If it was the difference of him where he's at, or him in the lion's den. That's what he's thinking. And so eventually, he's like, sorry guys, I have to go. Damn game. You know, Naruto really dreading playing that game over at the Naruto compound. Because, you know, he's going through a game of deduction in his head. And he's like, who could it possibly be? It's not Shikamaru. It can't be Shikamaru again. Because he knows how many times I beat him. Why would he want another game of shogi? Especially on his clan compound, where he can be laughed at by his entire clan. So the only other person, because honestly it wouldn't be his mother, she'd be too busy fixing food. So it would have to be Shikaku. And Shikaku would see everything that Naruto was doing. So that would be the moment. That would be the moment, if any moment. But then Naruto noticed something out of his eye as he's leaving. As he's patrolling the streets of Konoha, going ever closer towards a deer than our compound, petting it slightly. And as he goes off the deer, basically off to another part of our compound where he knows Shikamaru lives, he sees someone out of the corner of his eye, a large overcoat or jacket or some sort. And a bandana-like headband. That's definitely Morino Ibiki. Ibiki's helping him? Fuck! Naruto thinks. And then he's like, calm it, Naruto. You are the first Kira. You cannot be taken down as easily. If you're going to be taken down, though, you're going to make it hell for them. If I'm going to be going down, then I'm going to make it hell for them to take me down. This is what Naruto's thinking. And so, the game of shogi is done. Basically, and between Naruto and Shikaku, just as Naruto predicted. And Naruto's like, all according to plan. He's even guessing my movements and guessing why I'm hesitating. As he can even read Shikaku's lip movements as guessing 50% chance that he's Kira. And then later in the game, 80% chance that he's Kira. And then the moment he hesitates on checkmating Shikaku, the moment Naruto hesitates on it, on that action, that split action alone, the moment he hesitates, Shikaku mumbles, 100% stand chance that he's Kira. And then just is like, can I go to the bathroom? And it's like, yeah, but whenever he comes out, he can honestly realize, even though it would seem like a flawless hinge to, or transformation to anybody who wasn't Naruto, or any of his other Kiras. Oh, and by the way, the following day, Naruto did kill the Uchiha-eating bastard from Part 1, or Part 0, as I'm calling it, Part 0. He wrote his name in the Death Note, just for Sasuke. And Sasuke did thank him. Don't think they didn't. He did thank him for killing that Uchiha-hating bastard of a Chunin. Well, for any normal person, they would think that the hinge, the transformation was perfect. So much they wouldn't suspect it as being a hinge or transformation. They would think it was the real Shikaku Nara. But no, Naruto, remember, is a genius. Like Itachi, Kakashi, and his own father. Leagues above them, actually, in genius. So much that he hates the word genius. It's just a title to be thrown around. Like wrapping around your dick. Like a pissing contest. Because he's better. Whenever Naruto feels himself above those things. Above titles like genius. And so, he knows it's Morino Ibiki who basically swamped with Shikaku. And this is probably something that Hiruzen did not tell them to do, because Hiruzen by this time does not suspect Naruto of being Kira. Or at least one of the 3 Kiras. Because he doesn't even know about them being 3 Kiras. Basically, one time, Naruto, just gets really pissed, and, not really the Shinigami eyes, but the Nine Tails eyes, because, Kurama actually gets interested in this too. So Kurama eyes, the red eyes, but not Shinigami eyes, Kurama eyes, and bares his fangs and his freaking whiskers. And then he just leaves the Nara compound with Ibiki and Shikaku freaking floored. And eventually, Shikaku and Ibiki, Ibiki, does, his, untransforms himself. And so the actual Shikaku actually comes out. And, Shikamaru actually whispers, like, I knew it. That it actually wasn't my father. Like, he actually knew. But he knows that if he blew his dad's cover, or at least Iyuki's cover, that shit would go wild. Because their mother would try to kill Ibiki with her frying pan, no less.
Sure.
They go great with cream cheese. Avocado.
And then it happens. Shikaku and Ibiki, even though they get scolded by the third, and Kakashi does not look happy. You know, Inoichi looks kind of stone-faced at this. And that's just part of the team that they made in order to scuff out whatever this Kira guy is doing. Because apparently he can control people like puppets and kill them afterwards. And he can even control them like that and not kill them and just leave blanks in their memories. Because they will have no idea what happened during the time that they were being controlled. Because that's how the Death Note works. If basically you don't kill the person that you control, like, if you don't kill that person, then they'll just have, like, you know, if you don't kill them, then their memory will just be blank. But that's how the Death Note works. And so, well, one time, multiple members figure out that, hey, wait, this isn't right. We don't remember this at all. And wait, that's the purpose of a blanks. If you don't remember it, then obviously something happened to you. And multiple members of this unit, like, don't remember this happening to them. Why they have blanks in their memories. So, automatically Naruto, cause of that thing at Shikaku's house. Because of that one thing, they are like, Hiruzen, we gotta do this. And Hiruzen, even though he's really hesitant and just looking at Kakashi, just like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to do this, but my duty as Hokage comes before whatever. Fuck it. I'm doing it. Anbu, find Uzumaki Naruto and bring him to this location. And just points to a location. And the Anbu know what to do. And so some Anbu come. And Naruto's like, okay. And basically, whenever the Anbu come, they take him over to... Well, first they blindfold him, and Naruto's like, what the hell? And basically, they also cuff his hands, like more like his wrists, and his ankles. Because I'm not saying his feet, because that's not wrong too. They cuff his wrists and ankles. Well, more or less they shackle his ankles. Because they don't have cuffs for ankles, they have shackles for ankles. And they are chakra cuffs and ankle and chakra. Well, whatever. All that Naruto needs to know is that it's all according to plan. They think they have him. They think they have Kira. Oh boy, but they are wrong. They only have half of Kira, and not even the full scope of Kira. Because they basically reveal a bunch of information that they got from the blanks, because, well, there was nothing there, and so obviously, whoever the person was, like, it had to be in between this and this amount of time, and you were there in between this and this amount of time, so obviously you're Kira. Apparently, Shikaku believe that's all the information they need. And the Hokage insisted that they did some more information, and they found some stuff with Naruto, and so the Hokage relented and just like, fine. And Ibiki had to commemorate him because he's like, you know, you were pretty good, pretty good. You were pretty good while you lasted, but not good enough. Your reign of terror ends now, Kira. But Naruto, he pulls up the ultimate act of innocence by just crying and just acting like he doesn't understand and just until finally one of the Anbu just requested silently requested, like Anbu hand signs requested to do a silencing jutsu over Naruto's mouth so that nobody can hear him like talk anymore. And that's great for Naruto because Naruto doesn't need to freaking talk. Could be because they already talked. All three of the Kiras, like all three of them, actually talked about this. The moment the first Kira's killing stopped is when the second Kira would start killing. It's just who to kill though. And then one of the TVs in the room, because there's actually a bunch of TVs in the room, in order to show, like, the different mind things, including Naruto's mind, And basically, it will show up a white TV screen with a big letter L. Actually, instead of that we get in the original Death Note series, it would be a white TV screen still, yes, but it would be a big red letter K. And then next to the K would be a 2. Actually, no, there would be no number. It would just be K. Because they're not supposed to tell them that there are more than one Kira. They're only supposed to make them think in other chaos so that they can't think. You know, spread anarchy and chaos. So just this big red letter K. And basically they're here a distorted voice.
So you didn't think that there would be a failsafe? This is my voice. Only I had to make things work. My voice is distorted because of the several things that I had to do. So that's why it's distorted, even though you know who I am. Or you believe you do. But now... No, wait. That would be stupid. Never mind.
Anyways, I believe you think you've won. But no, you're far from won. As I believe there are still a bunch of Uchiha-hating bastards. And I don't like the Uchiha-hating bastards. So I wrote their names in the book, or pages of the book, that you won't be able to find ahead of time, with their cause of death being undetermined. Meaning that whenever they die, you won't know if it's because of natural or if it's because of the book. The only thing linking them together is their hatred for the clan. Even if they are a Uchiha themselves, their hatred for the clan will unite them together in my web of the Death Note. Meaning that they will, even if they are Uchiha themselves, will die. And by the causes set in the rule of the Death Note. Though you won't know, because of the way I've had webbed everything together. And basically, since everyone is freaking the fuck out, like, basically, some chakra thread get attached to the legs of the table, and basically, they ever so slightly scoot Naruto's chair out of the room as the door to the room got ever so slightly chakra threadily, opened. Not only unlocked, but opened. And the reason why, well, currently the people that are part of this investigation believe they just interrogated a innocent child because of the way that Naruto acted. And well, whenever Inuichi went to, go into his mind and did, he saw blanks, a lot of blanks, even more blanks than everybody else put together. So there's no way he could be Kira. And so finally, what Hinata does is, well, you see what Naruto did in order to make this possible, in order for him to have blanks, like the most blanks out of everyone there, even though he's the first Kira, is he forked over ownership of the Death Note. To someone he knew he could trust with said ownership. Konohamaru. And since Konohamaru is the honorable grandson of the third Hokage, it's not like the Anbu are just gonna permit him from entering, like whenever his grandfather is in the building. Maybe he just wants to see his granddad whenever he gets out of the case. So literally, he's right outside the room. And literally, right before forking over ownership, he had Konohamaru rip a piece of one of the Death Note and basically have Konohamaru rip a piece of the Death Note, and whenever Naruto got out, tell him to put it somewhere on his body, because once it had come back contact with his body, he would regain all of his memories. And shortly after that, he would join hands with Naruto, and the hand that he would join hands with would be the hand that also had the Death Note in, and then lose the grip of the Death Note, basically giving Naruto grip of it as soon as he would say, like I forfeit, or I, whatever you have to say in order to basically give the Death Note back to the other person, basically giving it back to Naruto, with all the names still in there. And even some names of people that Naruto doesn't remember putting in there, because Konohamaru hated people so much that hated Naruto that he put some names in there himself. Just because, even though Naruto didn't say so, he still did that before going in that building. The TNI department. And, well, he's easily able to do this in a secluded area where no one would suspect either of them. Now that, well, the whole blank incident, as, you know, it's being discussed in between them. Basically, Naruto blowing an absolute gasket before leaving the room, and thus going with Konohamaru, because it seemed innocent enough, until they meet up in this area, which is some random, barely used training ground, in some random part of the day, after the investigation. It's basically cleared up and over, or at least they think. Well, basically, once all the memories of the Death Note
I'm sorry, brain fog in my head there for a second.
Once all the memories of the Death Note return to Naruto, make him look like he's in the Avatar state. Quotes the champ. Basically, Konoha would basically say the code word, or what they had said would be the code word for them. And after saying the code word, basically Konohamaru and even the Konohamaru Corps, who had been helpful distractions for when Konohamaru would basically go and do his thing, involving the Death Note and Naruto, and helping Hinata, get him the fuck out of there, because Hinata would be there too. And just knowing that whenever the Kira killings stopped, the Kira killings would begin. Basically, Konohamaru would say the code word, or code phrase, that they had organized it to be. I am righteous. And they would say it at the same time. Konohamaru and Naruto would both say, I am righteous. You might be wondering, how did Naruto hack into their freaking TVs that they had, the torture interrogation? Oh, also where the Konohamaru Corps helped. They, for a short amount of time, while Konohamaru was touching the Death Note, touched it as well, which gave them partial ability to do what Konohamaru was able to do. And so, for a partial amount of time, they could just go around. They could go around to certain people, and without, killing them, just, give them, orders via Death Note. Like scraps. But they only had so many scraps per person, 2 more people per Konoha Corps. So, they only had so many scraps, so they had to make sure they did this right. And on the first try. So, they had to go around and find people who were close enough to the general area find the right people and get them to do the right things to where they could hack in to where they could send the message that Naruto had pre-recorded. And, well, whenever the right cables were applied, attaching the two together, well, the message would be able to send to the area. And how would no one be able to see them? Well, that's also where basically the fact that they're not complete idiots comes in. Moegi and Udon, the other members of the Konoha Corps, plus Konohamaru kind of helped on this one. Basically helping them cover their tracks, making it impossible for them to be followed by that. Oh, and if anyone saw them move, well, just make it impossible to see them move by, doing what a ninja is supposed to do and sticking to the shadows. Basically, as long as they stuck to the shadows and covered their tracks the moment they moved, well, they were good. And, well, they did so. And were able to successfully hack into. But also there comes the thing of being able to trace back what you did. Like the Hidden Leaf people being able to trace back what you did to you. Like there are several different big brain people in the Leaf Village that be able to do that. Well, it's simple. Destroy the evidence. Like any trace of the evidence. And then, once the Death Note stuff is gone, just say the magic word or words, and automatically the ownership is gone. And, well, automatically before, dissing the ownership, having, Moegi and Udon touch Konohamaru's hands, and them say the magic words before him says the magic words to Naruto. And automatically, all three of the Konohamaru Corps know nothing about the Death Note. They cannot be mind searched. They cannot. And before that, they destroyed the evidence. So, on all of the plans to find the evidence. But what about figuring about the whole thing about the chop, and up and to find the freaking thing so that they'd be able to make the broadcast? What about that? Well, it's simple. Just, use the Death Note scraps to find a person who's good at not only doing that, but a person who's good at, making it look like it was never done to begin with afterwards. And I mean, they had enough scraps to do that in one go, just not in 2 or 3 goes. So that's why it was super freaking important. So that they would have everything. They only had enough, they only had enough for 1 go, not 2 or 3 goes. And now that it looks like Kira has, basically, the whole thing about Naruto not being Kira. Oh, how wrong that is. How wrong. At this point, Sasuke has to keep from snickering where he is. And Mito is right next to him, because Sasuke is at Naruto's house. This is being broadcasted from Naruto's house in the red light district, so it can't be too loud. But he just has to keep from snickering. Or else, like, the voice, like, machine that they're doing this with. Like, they were able to get some equipment, but that's because they were able to raid people's shit after they died. Like some of the real big dickheads of the Leaf Village. And see that they have some really good stuff. This could be... Oh, we could use this to make a machine to, cloak our voices. Oh my, this could help you be introduced real good, Mr. Second Kira. And help introduce even the third Kira. And maybe like, make room for some adjustments so that whenever the third Kira is introduced, it's distorted in a different way so that it will throw them off. Like distorting it in a different way could possibly throw them off. For whenever the third Kira is, like, announced. They plan to do this... They plan to do it in the same way, just in a different way. So yeah, wrap your head around that. And so, it wasn't just Hinata who helped, but also, like, Konohamaru, basically all of the Konohamaru Corps. Because they were told about this as well, because Naruto knew them as loyal as hell to him. And so if he gave him a good enough reason, and so basically he would give the rest of the Konohamaru Corps, like basically Moegi and Udon, a good enough reason, they would go along with it as well. And basically at the end, basically fork up their ownership of anything they had of the Death Note over Naruto again. And, well, then Naruto would basically act as if he wasn't killing. Actually, I have a really clever way to do this, to where it could be a time for Sasuke to kill while Naruto isn't really killing, and it actually be for a good reason. Let's say that Naruto actually timed the time in which, like, the Konohamaru Corps, that being Konohamaru, Moegi, and Udon, all three of them, giving him the Death Note and, well, anything of the Death Note that he would need, besides just the Death Note itself. And basically, well, how I plan to do this is, well, the time it takes for, well, Naruto had basically, before any of this has gone downhill, he had basically, knowing that they would be loyal to him to a T, like the entire Konohamaru Corps would be loyal to him to a T, that he could manipulate them however he wanted to, basically. I mean, this is a Naruto who sees his sister get constantly beaten day by day. So why wouldn't he eventually get that kind of complex of wanting to do the same to other people, at least in somewhat of a similar light, by manipulation, by way of manipulation. And first way of manipulation, manipulating the Konohamaru Corps to help him manipulate the force that was going after his ass once they thought they had him. And well, they did, but they didn't. Because basically, the Konohamaru Corps were assisting in the help that Hinata was going to give him in getting out of their clutches. Because basically, by forking over ownership to Konohamaru and letting the others, like Moegi and, whatever the other guy, basically they had up to a page, like 1 page worth of scraps from the Death Note. Like forking over ownership to Konohamaru. At the same time, the Konohamaru that he would be holding it, and Konohamaru would be holding it, and he would basically fork over ownership. But at the same time, also, some people would be ripping out a freaking page, and basically they would rip scraps 50-50. They would have a 50-50 trade of up to how many scraps, and those scraps would be how many tricks they could pull out of their ass in order to manipulate and even get people to just straight up get out of their freaking way. Like, move, bitch, get out the way. Just so that they could pull this off successfully. Like, they knew that Hinata could do it, like, if she had enough help. Just like how Naruto knew that she could do it if she had enough help. And the right help. And he knew that if his plan worked, this plan of manipulating the Konohamaru Corps, like the entire Konohamaru Corps, to his very whim, to basically the fact that, well, he would give ownership over to, so basically like a false god, instead you have a false Kira in Konohamaru. Konohamaru was basically like a false Kira, and Moegi and Udon were basically like a bunch of pseudo-false Kiras. So yeah, they all assisted in Naruto's getting the fuck out of Dodge. And so in the time that Naruto wasn't doing any killing, Sasuke would basically, by the time that, all of the people going on the Kira case would basically go back, think that they would go back to their normal lives, they would notice that there was still killing going on. And in the same way that Kira seemed to do it. So it turns out that, not only did they not get Kira, but Kira seemed to go stronger than ever now. So yeah, it's almost like they shot themselves in the foot. Little did they know that the entire Leafville village would basically soon be manipulated by Naruto. if it wasn't manipulated by him already. And Naruto's just thinking, one piece at a time. Just one piece at a time, just like in a game of shogi. Right, Chikaku? You thought you had me. Oh, did you? Oh, did you? That's what he'd be thinking as, Konohamaru and Don and Moegi would basically all be looking clueless as to where they were and why they don't remember anything from, a long time ago. And basically, Naruto would disappear, then neck chop all three of them, and basically, he would, take them over and be like, oh, well, they were, doing some training, and I guess it was a training accident because I found them like this. And, well, yep, so he's manipulating even the medical staff into thinking what he's saying is true. Whenever he basically knocked them all out. Well, there are no cameras there, so nobody can prove him wrong. Because nobody was patrolling the area, and there were no cameras, so nobody can say that he was lying. Except for Ryuk. Because basically he's his Shinigami now. Because as Naruto said before, he will not fork over the ownership. So yeah. Basically, as a big nod to the original Death Note, manga and anime, instead of the name, the one what if gave the whole task force thing that was trying to find their version of Kira, Kissy was it? I'm actually just gonna say the Kira Task Force. But instead of just Kira Task Force, it's gonna be the Konoha Kira Task Force. Because each village, because trust me, they will get there eventually, will have their own Kira Task Force. So at least Konoha believes that if this is allowed to spread, just what president was it that said a domino effect, that if Vietnam was able to whatever communism was able to freaking spread, it would be a domino effect one place after the other. So yeah, basically Konoha is thinking, if these Kiras are able to keep on doing this, it's gonna be a domino effect, great nation after great nation. And so basically, news of this actually gets out to a couple people. Jiraiya, whenever, he's actually going to the, village, and he hears Hiruzen say this as he's about to go in through the window. And he's he's listening now, and they don't even see him. And so he investigates further by hearing the locals talk about this Kira. well, let's just say, yeah. Due to the Sanin traveling rights that Jiraiya has, and the fact that, Jiraiya doesn't hate Tsunade, he tells Tsunade, like, he doesn't just go over to Tsunade just to try to get her to go back to the Leaf. He goes over there to tell her about Kira. And the fact that if this is able to continue, I mean, shit. Yeah, the whole domino theory that even, like, the villages are starting to adopt will eventually happen. Because Kira is not like any other thing. He is a force of fucking nature. Because if Naruto isn't Kira, as I thought for the longest time that their godchild was Kira, if Naruto isn't, which actually Naruto is one of the 3 Kiras, well, he's half of one of them. And so basically, you would have Jiraiya and Tsunade and Shizune and the Tauntaun the Pig at, the Chunin exams whenever they inevitably happened. And because of, the popularity of Kira, the possibility that it could branch out to other nations, even before Kira even touched them, Naruto decides, why doesn't he just go with the flow? And, eventually, whenever he gets his own, ninja headband, and gets his own, little team and sensei, he will help spread the word. But due to his growing power and growing knowledge, he will make sure that no one ever figures out the true identity of Kira. Or at least his version. And also make sure, basically, Mito, whatever path you take in life, make sure that your half of our Kira, the first Kira, is never found out. Because if you do, everything that we worked so hard to build up upon, will, I believe you know, and you don't need Shinigami eyes in order to tell what Naruto's thinking. And what Mito's currently thinking right now. Mito's like, I will not fail. Like, she doesn't need a freaking death note. Her power is the power of the Shinigami eyes. She's helping every Kira out. Not just Naruto, but the other Kiras as well. And anyone who they might give the ownership to partially, just in case, like they ever needed to, for any reason. And for this reason, Naruto actually hears her call herself the vessel of Kira. The one who will, if not the vessel, then the apostle. Or the apostle vessel of Kira. The apostle vessel of Kira. because her reach is across all three Kiras. Not just the first Kira, which is her brother, but all three Kiras. So she is the apostle vessel of Kira. Not just Kira number 1, or Kira number 2, or Kira number 3, of all Kiras, of just Kira in general. That is why she is the apostle vessel of Kira. That is what she calls herself. At least while no one else besides the other Kiras, or, the Shinigamis that they surround themselves with, are, listening. But then again, Naruto states that since nobody believes in, him to be Kira, exactly, they think the exact opposite, that there's no way he could be Kira because of all the blanks, that she has no reason to be afraid. And, Mito's like, but what about Sasuke and, Hinata? They're not as, shielded from, the possibility of being Kira. And Naruto rebukes that with, oh, you mean Sasuke, you mean like the guy who basically just went through the trauma of the Uchiha massacre, and then Hinata, the girl who's so shy that she'd use her entire little jacket as like a turtle in a shell. And always eeps and is poking her fingers around like her index fingers. Those people, Kira, really? That's probably the mass populace's opinion. And so probably everybody else's. And basically Mito's realizing her brother's basically right. That since all that has happened, nobody would think that any of them were Kira. Even though the killings have started back up, nobody would think that any of them were Kira. And so even if Naruto were to defend his sister because they were trying to rough her up for answers, they wouldn't think that because of that he was Kira, because they already saw the blanks in his mind. They know that he isn't Kira. Or at least that's what they believe they know. Because Naruto has gotten it to where that's the only conclusion that they can come up to. And Mito, they're more basically like Kurama than Kira. Concerning Mito. And basically, everybody's like, Sasuke is too much like, he just too much child trauma from the Uchiha massacre to actually be Kira. Too much trauma in order to actually be Kira from the Uchiha massacre, And, with Hinata, it's the girl's like a turtle in its shell. She would never be Kira. It's impossible for that to be the case. It's Naruto's thinking, man, the villagers are ignorant. when I have those two, Sasuke as my second Kira, and Hinata as my third Kira. But wonder how they're good at manipulating. How good are they at manipulating others? Or would they even do it? Well, we'll just have to see, won't we? Mito, Ryuk, we'll just have to see. Meanwhile, we just see... Well, one time we see, Sasuke. And, there's Sakura and Ino. And they're just about to pounce for Sasuke. And Sasuke's like, if you two wanted to be useful, you could be, but I doubt you'd do it. Yes. Sasuke is about to use his fan club as, little Konoha Kira Task Force spray. Spraying them away. Weapons to keep the Konoha Kira Task Force away from him. He's about to just throw them right into the lion's den just so that he can stay alive. Because, as he sees it, it's all so that he can continue to just be the weapon that is to be just, get his clan out of the gutter. Their salvation... Even from beyond the grave, their salvation. And the one who will bring up their spirits from their oppressed state. And Hinata, whenever she's approached, her in particular Shinigami is indeed right. Ryuk, Sasuke's Shinigami, and her Shinigami are all right. Nobody, not even any of the Hyugas, can see her Death Note. And with the little sympathy that she does get from some of the branch members of the Hyuga clan, she does feel bad about doing this at first. She kind of gets into a little bit of a Naruto craze, as Naruto is the person that she's head over heels for, so she would kind of adopt more of his thinking as she goes on to become more of what he is now. Basically, the one to bring death, as she is the one to bring death. So, since they're basically the same thing, she would adopt more of his thinking over time. And as I'm saying, over time. And thus, adopt his manipulative capabilities. And while she's not as good at it, she's good enough to, well, the more sympathetic branch members, well, they would be easily manipulated. And while she would feel bad, I mean, she would also feel that she needed to do this. That this manipulation is for their own good. Basically, use this manipulation to, it's kind of like with hyenas. Like, because of the movie Lion King, people don't really give hyenas all that much respect. But, hyenas are a lot more, than you think. And one hyena named Waffles actually climbed all the way up, like from the bottom all the way to the top, without ever really, fighting all that much. Or at all, basically. She just made the right friends, did the right things, like the right choices, and eventually she got to the top. And she wasn't really that mean at all. So basically, Hinata's just like Waffles with a death note. Like, she's basically hyenaing it. She's basically making like a hyena. She's making like Waffles. Not the pig from Gravity Falls. The hyena. The real life hyena. The IRL hyena. She is making it like Waffles. And she is climbing up that social ladder in a way in which, well, maybe manipulative as fuck, but nothing anywhere close to what Naruto's doing. Trust me, nowhere close to what he's doing. But she is getting there. Oh, trust me, she is getting there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, just getting up the social ladder. But in this time, it's getting up the manipulation ladder. And you guys may be wondering, what would she be, manipulating these more sympathetic, branch members for or to do? Well, I mean, the most basic thing she would be manipulating them for or to do is, well, names and faces. I mean, she has to have both of those in mind while, writing in the death note because, well, she has to have the name to write and the face, well, to be in mind while she's writing the name down. So basically just if she has the thought of a person or people, but she doesn't have either their name or their, faces in particular. If she doesn't have either down, or has one but not the other down, she can just, it's almost like a network of information gathering. Like a spy network. Like a secretive spy network. In which you don't even know that it's there. Hinata knows, and she's kind of actually excited by the prospect of kind of making her own secretive spy network within the Hyuga clan, and the big bad elders not even knowing about it. Though she knows, she definitely knows, because she's the head of it. And, well, turns out that one of the people is actually part of a clan that specializes in, well, they're not like the Uzumakis in specializing all sorts of seals, like Fuinjutsu. They do know about one certain type of seal, the ability to counter things. They're basically the kind of people that, like, if you needed something countered, you go to them. And the most basic thing that they pretty much have, that she knows of right now, is the counter seal. And she's been doing all this research on the counter seal because, you know, they basically have been controlled to also bring the information to her, because it kind of is like basically is a spy network. So they bring information to her. And since it's all in pages, she can basically hide the pages, not like as sealing scrolls, but like hide the pages within the pages of the Death Note. So basically hide the pages within the Death Note. And since nobody can see the Death Note, nobody can see the pages. Expertise freaking planning Hinata Hyuga. So, yeah. And, like, her freaking Shinigami is like that, too. Like, damn, that's good planning. And basically, after, like, all the routine checkups of, like, you know, the heiress is done, like, you know, everything. Basically, everything that, you know, Hinata considers boring now is all done and over with. For the day, at least. For the morning part of the day, at least. She goes and she checks on her findings. Oh, and she makes sure to try to use ink that wouldn't mess up either. Like, either the notes or like the note. As in either one. Took her a while to find that kind of ink, but whenever you have branch members that are basically manipulated to help you, it won't take as much of a while as you thought. And so, you're not just like, well, looks like And so basically, whenever it does come time for, well, graduation and everything, seeing as basically everything had basically went as in canon, or at least everyone think that's the case. basically team placements. Even though they pretty much are the same, that doesn't ruin Hinata's planning. As, her information network is within her own clan, not within the Kiras. Well, they do have meetings, but that can be arranged at their own time. And that was actually said at a meeting before, team assignments happened. That was a meeting before team assignments where that was said. They can now have meetings that they can have like on their own time. Away from whenever they're doing stuff with their teams. And basically everything goes good up until they basically realize the team that Naruto's sister was put on. A team of Mito, Ami, which is basically the Yakumo girl's sister. So the sister of the Kurama clan's clan head, like her sister. And well, someone else, but I would need a less brain fog in order to figure out. Basically, she gets put on that team, and her sensei. And let's say, since Hinata is the proctor for the preliminaries, Genma will get to be their sensei. And then have to throw favoritism aside whenever the finals come around. It is if any of his students actually make it. So yeah. Now the disciple of Kira is split away from her older brother. The two halves of the first Kira are separate. However, they managed to come up with a jutsu overnight. Seeing as Uzumaki's are Fuinjutsu geniuses, one of them was eventually going to have to break open the glass ceiling. But somehow, because of Naruto's freaking genius, he's able to get them both to open the glass ceiling. And hard they did. And so they developed a jutsu that would allow them to, contact each other without even needing to, be in the same area. And this can also work for other Kiras. If they needed to talk to, the disciple of Kira. Herself. And messages would basically be forwarded by Chakra Pulse. And through the Chakra Pulse, you'd get all the info you would need. This allowing for anything that needed to be said in secret. And so that no one, unless you were a very good censor, would be able to figure out what you were saying. And that's why the specific area in which this jutsu is, basically, beams the pulse from, is the eye. And it beams the pulse upwards, then it's a current that falls down, then in wherever its direction that it needs to go in order to, find the person that it needs to go towards. Basically, it's causing a lot of misdirection for any sensor. And if there's multiple sensors, they'll have no idea because, chakra pulses aren't supposed to do that. But this is a Fuinjutsu layer chakra pulse. And that's never been done before, so, yeah. Basically, a whole entire new jutsu that has just been created overnight. But hey, they both still pass the test. Like Kakashi's test and Genma's test. And well, basically, now we hit the Land of Waves arc. And that is where I'm gonna have to go back to the filing room. We'll have to put this away and get the other file. Because this is where this file ends. File number 1. And file number 2, we'll be hitting the Land of Waves arc, as they call it. Deuces.